welcome to Sunday. What are we going to be covering today? You have your choice of the pink Buddha. He's fat and happy. It's Sunday, so we're doing Buddha and Jesus to cover a lot of religious ties. We have life purpose. I'm a Unitarian, so I can do whatever religion I want, right? We appreciate all religions. We have the clear Buddha, and that's going to be the paranormal. Ooh, paranormal experience. And then we have the green Buddha. What topic are we going to be covering? Past life. Ooh, yeah, so it's all spiritual. Good. Soulful Sunday, right? Let's get started with the rose quartz Buddha. He's fat and happy. Rub his belly for good luck. This is going to talk about your life purpose. And this is a message from Jesus. Jesus says, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Ooh, Matthew 28:20. We have magic. Love it. Authenticity. Love that. Some of you your life purpose may involve writing, because we have this typewriter. It may involve creative writing, like fiction writing, because we have magic here, and magic is not of this world. I mean, it is of this world, but a lot of people don't think it's of this world, right? A lot of people think it's like something, the very nature of magic is something that's kind of spectacular and extraordinary, right? And not everyday. We also have balancing act, okay? And we have solution. So definitely writing might be in your life purpose, because the King of Swords, you could be an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini, but the sword suit is a card about, an element. The air suit, the sword suit, are about our thoughts, our communication, our speech, our writing, our reading. So this could definitely be, your life purpose could involve words in some way. It could also involve the law, because the King of Swords is often my judge card, my lawyer card. This is someone who has experienced a lot of stuff in his life, like the Queen of Swords, right? But he has come to a place in his journey where he lays down the law, so to speak, right? So he knows the potential of certain situations, and as a result, he can set clear boundaries about what he wants and what is just and what's fair. And he is about higher law, right? So if this does involve writing, if this does involve your life purpose as a writer, then you may have moments when you're writing that feel like it's not you, right? That like God is writing through you. I often feel that way in a lot of the stuff that I create, that it's not even like my ego, right? Like, I just like am a tool for what God wants me to do. So if you feel like that whenever you are writing, then that means that is part of your life purpose, and that is what you are called to do. I see this, I'm with you to the end of the world, so you might be like a post-apocalyptic writer. You might also write about an ideal world, like a utopia after this destruction. But post-apocalyptic novels are pretty popular, and when I see the end of the world, I think you might be into that, so let me know. That would be really interesting. With balancing act and all this air energy, with King of Swords, solution, and with this communication, you might be a Libra with balancing act, because they're all about the scales. And again, it could be something involving justice. It could be something involving legal matters, so judge or a lawyer. But I feel like it is more of a fictional, artsy thing. We're going to get some clarification. I also want to say that part of your life purpose is whenever things feel apocalyptic, whenever things feel like it's at the end of the world, right? Like right now, everything, a lot of things in the world are changing. We have Brexit, we have Donald Trump, we have all these like crazy stuff that paradigms are shifting, right? So things are turning upside down, and it can be very scary for people. So I think your life purpose is to lead others into that unknown, into that post-apocalyptic world, or even to a solution, because this is solution right here, a solution to that post-apocalyptic world where things are falling apart and where things are chaotic. You have solutions for it, right? So, and your life purpose is about balancing that stuff out. So whenever things are really chaotic for others, when one feels like the world is crumbling around them, your words, however you use them, whether it's to write, whether it's blogging like this, but words somehow. I'm getting that strongly. Whether it's through a novel, whether it's through speaking, it could even just be on social media, but your job is to come up with solutions during these times of chaos. And so you're going to be sort of the leader and the beacon for others to follow in your footsteps, and to reassure them that it's not the end of the world, that it's not, in fact, Judgment Day or the Rapture, although that could be part of your subject, right? I would love to know if you guys are writing about like revelations or anything, but this is about leading people through changes, finding solutions, and comforting them through those times. Let's get some clarifiers. You can win a Morgan-GREER Tarot when it's in. Just check the description box below, and it will tell you how to do that. Spirit, could you clarify? Solution, balancing act, the end of the world, magic, and authenticity. I also want to say that if you get met with resistance in your writing process, as a writer, you get rejected a lot. I write, so I get rejected a lot. Not everyone likes what you write, and so it may feel like the end of the world to you, but I want you to know that, I've called upon Christ energy today because it's Sunday. Hallelujah! So Christ is definitely with you, but your spirit team, your angels, your ancestors, and ascended masters, they're always with you to guide you, even if it feels like the end of the world, if it feels like the end of your career because everyone's rejecting you. I promise this is what you're meant to do, so keep at it. Okay, one more shuffle for magic and authenticity. Hey. We have the Two of Wands, so you really need to put your plans into action. If you have ideas about what you should write, but you haven't really put them onto paper, now's the time to start writing them down. Even if it's the pre-writing process, get everything out as much as possible, because you can always delete later, you can always revise later. But part of writing is just taking that first step to get it all down on paper. So you need to make a plan. You can make outlines. You can set up a goal to write, 5 pages a day. And if you write more, great. If you don't, then stick to that 5 pages. But this is about taking your spark and putting it into action. And it's about having the whole world ahead of you. Your plans are very fruitful at this time. We also have the King of Pentacles, so this is another card about committing to something. The King of Pentacles, he is very stable, very financially secure, so this is going to make you financially secure, make you financially stable. I always look at these grades, and so right now it may seem like, how can I ever make money as a writer? How can I, and again, if it's not a writer, then whatever your life purpose is, how am I going to make money? How am I going to make money to go to law school, right? How can I afford law school? But I look at these grapes, and I think, these grapes all started out as seeds, and it takes time to build this vineyard, right? To build all these grapes around took patience with the seasons and dedication to those seeds, watering those seeds, nurturing those seeds, pruning those vines, or whatever you need to do, until one day you get this whole vineyard that gives you the financial freedom, the financial stability, and the security to be in control of your own destiny, because you have all of these like income streams, right? You have all this abundance around you that supports you. We also have the Hermit reversed and the Page of Swords. So I'm getting the sense with these two cards that you might have felt like an outcast, or that you're doing this alone a lot of times, which is a lonely journey. I can relate with that. And it's like others might not have believed in your vision, so you might have felt sort of pushed out of the conversation, pushed out of the narrative, but it's because you're supposed to create a new narrative, right? It's like the paradigm that you're supposed to change is outcasting you, but you're supposed to change that paradigm, so of course they're going to outcast you. This Page of Swords is often a little orphan child who can be passive aggressive, and it's like they want to, because this is the air suit, right? This is, and if you're Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, let me know, especially if you're Libra, because this is another air element. You could also be a Virgo, because we do have the Hermit and the King of Pentacles right here. Taurus, Capricorn is also a possibility. But the Page of Swords is my little orphan child, and this is someone who wants to be part of a conversation because they are about the head, they are about the mental space, they are about talking and writing and reading. So oftentimes they are wise souls, and they go to their parents, and they want to talk about religion or politics or post-apocalyptic stuff, and they could get shooed away from their parents, right? Like, go away, kid, you don't know what you're talking about. You're too young, right? You don't understand this stuff. And so this is someone who feels unheard, who feels left out of the conversation. So they become this like runaway child where they're like, fine, I'll do it myself, right? Like, I don't need you guys. No one appreciates me. So I feel like this is you being pushed out of a paradigm. And in this particular deck, we see columns here. So it's like, and one pillar has fallen down. So these structures of how society has done things, especially like post-apocalyptic stuff, end of the world stuff, it's like these structures that were once stable, that were once like well established, like dealing with the establishment, right? Long-standing traditions that have worked. Right now, they are crumbling, they are turning into ruins, and so you, as this Page of Swords, might be coming in saying, hey, look, it's going in this direction, and I need to tell you, and everyone's like, no, it's always been this way, kid, you don't know what you're talking about. So your job is to send out the message that the columns are falling down, that the paradigm is shifting, that the world is changing, that the end of the world as they know it is happening. And so you're just the messenger, and if they shoot the messenger, that's on them. But you should still deliver that message, right? Yeah. And it may be a very lonely journey, because you have been forced out of the conversation, because you are taking a different road on like the journey of life, the journey of civilization. It can be very lonely. The Hermit is someone who's out in the wilderness, solitary, on his own. He has his light to guide him. And I'm getting a feeling of loneliness in this journey, which is perfectly normal, but just remember that you do hold this light, and you are meant to guide others, even if you feel like you're doing this all on your own. The wisdom that you are going to garner through this spiritual journey is going to shine a light on others and be the beacon, right, to this new way of living. I love it. Let me know if that resonated. I love you very much, and I will see you next time. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want a personal reading, check the description box below. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, the quartz Buddha. He's so cute. You can't really see him on this camera, but he's very cute. We're going to be asking a paranormal question. Ooh. And Jesus says, be not afraid, only believe. Mark 5:36. So, if you are having paranormal experiences, you might be very afraid because it can be scary, you know. You don't know if this is a friendly ghost or if this is a bad ghost. So let's continue. But just know that the Bible does say, don't be afraid, fear not, a lot of times. So whatever this entity is, even if it's a bad entity, Christ does offer an amount of protection. So you might want to call upon him. There is a reason why exorcists use Christ. So you can always use him to protect you, even with the darker entities. But let's continue. Divine timing, okay. And beauty. Ooh. So I'm guessing that this is probably a harmless ghost, that you might just be fearful because you might not have very many paranormal experiences, right? And so for some of you, you may not even be, you may be like new to tarot, right? And so you're sort of dipping your toes into this experience too. I am getting a message because I see this divine timing that these ghosts might be messing with your clocks. So they might be stopping your clocks, they might be setting them back, or moving them forward or something like that. I would love to know if that's the case. And we see beauty here. I'm going to get a clarifier on that, but let's push along. We also have listening, so there might be something that these ghosts want to tell you and that you might not be able to hear right now. Whenever my stepdad passed away, I kept having these dreams where he would come visit me, but he would like mumble and I could never hear what he said. And it was like dream after dream. He would appear to me in these dreams and like I couldn't hear him. But I think it was because, and this was my first paranormal experience, just like seeing him in dreams. I think it was because it was like a language that I wasn't used to. Like I probably had spirit. I mean, I know I had spirits around, but I just didn't like. And I had seances as a kid, but I didn't talk to them. I wasn't like. I didn't work that muscle of talking to them, right? And so it's like if you learn Spanish in high school and you do really well in that class, but you don't have any Spanish speakers around you, it's like you can kind of lose that language. So it's like my ability to talk to ghosts, because I hadn't practiced that, I couldn't hear what he was saying, so it was mumbly. But eventually, like, I became more open to it, and now I can like understand him and other spirit that's around me. But it may be hard for you right now to listen to spirit, or you may be hearing things in your head and thinking like, what is this? Hear, not in your head, but like hearing it like outside of your ears and like it's spooking you. I also want to say that spirit, especially angels, if you're dealing with angels, angels are really soft and they're they're very more darker entities, more harmful entities, demonic entities. They're more forceful and more loud, so they can often overpower and drown out the soft little angel. You know, like the more demonic entities are like, you know, you'll never be good enough, and so we hear that all day, every day, right? It's like a brain virus that's around us. But the lighter energies, the lighter entities, they're around all the time too, but we don't. It takes practice for us to develop that ability to hear them because they're so soft and so quiet. They don't want to overstep anything. They just want to be here for you and looking out for you and true. We love you. So they're very like low key and soft, and it takes like daily practice of communicating with them to actually hear them. So some of you might be experiencing that and needing to, that's what meditation is good for, like quieting your mind so you're more apt to hear the good spirit around you. The other card we have is empathy. I like that. The Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is very intuitive. Queen of Cups is very emotional and very in touch with the spirit world. So, if you are a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, it's definitely you. If you are not one of those signs, then you are displaying those characteristics, and you might be an empath but not know it. And Spirit is trying to. Spirit is calling on you to use your empathic abilities where you might not have fully used them before, and so they're like knocking at your door now because they see your ability to feel energy. So if you're someone who can sense, like one of the examples I give of the Queen of Cups is that she can wake up in the middle of the night and say, oh, my brother misses my mom because he's craving beans. You know, it's like something that's like this crazy like premonition, this crazy like intuition. You might be someone who can predict the future, and I see this in this divine timing where like perhaps these ghosts have given you a glimpse into the future, and you've like woken up in the middle of the night and been like, you know, that beans moment that I just said. But you can't, you don't have any evidence or proof to explain it. You just like had this intuition, and then eventually it came true. So you might be experiencing having predictions, and they're a result of things that ghosts have told you. Interesting. But anyway, the Queen of Cups, someone who's empathic, woman's intuition. Even if you're a man, you might experience intuition where you just feel things and you just know things and you don't know where it comes from, but it's a result of being sensitive to other people's feelings. Like you can interpret feelings in a way others can't. But it's a very sweet energy. So these things might be fearful, might make you fearful, but it's really something that's beautiful, and I'm seeing this beauty. It's something that others are going to respect about you, and it's like a beautiful skill, right? It's a sweet, beautiful quality, and I think others are going to come to you for advice in that regard, and it's only going to accelerate. And as you practice this listening and practice this ability to connect with the other side. But let's get some clarifiers. Did I say you can win this deck? I don't know if I did. Check the description box below. You can win this deck. One more shuffle. Okay, so yes, you aren't seeing the beauty in this new beginning. This is a new start for you. And we have the sun reversed. In this deck, we see two people who are looking at each other, and I always think like looking into each other's souls, right? Like you look into the eyes and you can see each other's souls. So this is like, I feel like not recognizing your ability, not recognizing the like beauty of this gift that you have. Interesting. With empathy, we have the 8 of Swords, and we have the 4 of Pentacles reversed, and the Wheel of Fortune. It's interesting, we have the Wheel of Fortune with, not the card, Wheel of Fortune with Divine Timing. Wheel of Fortune is a card about time. I feel like the more you practice this and the more you give up fear. This is a fearful card. This is a card about being stuck, not knowing which way to go. And then we have the do not be afraid. So the more you have resistance to this gift, this ability to communicate with others, the more you try to like la 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 la, I don't want to hear you ghost, blah 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 blah. The more you do that, the more you limit yourself, then the more stuck any situation is going to be. I also see the more you limit yourself, if you don't speak up about these communications, like if they give you a warning about someone being in a car crash, for example, and you don't speak up, then I can see you feeling guilty about not speaking up. So speak up and don't be scared about your gifts. Even if people think you're crazy, don't be scared about them because they are going to help protect others. We have the 4 of Pentacles, which is a card about letting go. So we move from feeling stuck and afraid to letting go, right? To being open, to receiving information from spirits, being open to these paranormal experiences, knowing that you are protected, knowing that Christ is with you, knowing that this gift is a gift, right? It is a gift, so to honor this gift, to take care of this gift, you have to use it and you have to practice it and you have to give it to others. So you have to let go and open up about your experiences so that others aren't kicked off of the wheel, right? So that if you see someone's in a car accident, you can tell them, hey, you might want to take it easy tonight. If you don't tell them that, then they might not take it easy and they might have a car crash, right? Something like that. So there's no need to be afraid of ghosts. There's no need to be afraid of your ability to talk to them. You should treat it as an honor and as a gift to share with the other side and to share with your loved ones, and they'll appreciate that. I love you very much, and if you would like a personal reading, check the description box below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye! Okay, last but not least, oops, hold up. Gotcha. Sorry. Okay, last but not least, we have Green Man, Green Buddha. I'm so glad, I didn't check to see what these topic cards were, but all of them are very spiritual, and on this Soul Sunday with my Buddha and my Jesus, it's like I got paranormal, I got past life, and I got life purpose. How much more soulful is that? I love it. Anyway, the last one is past life. Let's see what you have. We have, my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. John 6:32. So in your past life, this could be talking about a time when you were a father. Could be talking about a time when you, a time in your past life with your father in this lifetime. This could also be talking about, in a past life, you were a baker. It's the bread of heaven. So let's keep it moving. We have options with this ice cream scoop thing. So I'm definitely getting a bakery, cooking vibe. You could have been a cook in a past life, baking bread, baking, making ice cream, making treats. We also have a shrimp here, which is always silly. Actually, we have a shrimp, a turkey leg, and a sausage on top of what looks like a sundae with whipped cream and a cherry. So there's all sorts of options here. Okay. We also have ideal partnership, more food. It definitely had something to do with food in a past life, because we have wine and cheese. This ideal partnership, okay. We have one ring circus. Okay. And we have truth, Ace of Swords. So, with ideal partnership and one ring circus together, I'm seeing that there is a situation in your life right now that is flagging a question about being single, being independent versus being in a relationship. We also see options right here. So perhaps in a past life, you were sort of stuck in partnerships, right? Like, and when I say stuck, I don't mean like, that they were, it could very well be like toxic, karmic people, but not necessarily. It could just mean like that's the way life was done. That's the paradigm that was drawn out. And in this lifetime, you were meant to live a more solitary life, live a more independent life. But in the past, I feel like in past lives, perhaps you had obligations as a father, you had obligations as a partner, as a spouse. But in this lifetime, you have more options to live a life that is truly authentic to you, where in past lives you might have led lives that were in service of others, which is totally fine. But in this life, you are experiencing more freedom and more autonomy, more agency over yourself. And in past lives, like say me as a woman, in a past life, I would have been sold off at like 12 years old, right? Like my dad would have treated me like property, and I would have been sold off to a creepy old man, right? That's just how they did things. But in this lifetime, I make my own choices about who I have to partner with, right? Interesting message that's coming through, but let's see. Spirit, could you clarify past life for my green Buddhas of the group? If you would like to win the Morgan-GREER Tarot 1 of 10, you can check the description box below. I'll have to cut this off. Just real quick. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys. I was called. I was called to pet my angel. Spirit, could you clarify ideal partnership, one ring circus, truth, options, and Father give you bread? I would definitely look into past life regressions. My favorite to this day is still Brian Weiss. He was my first toe dipping of past lives. Whenever I was like in middle school, my grandma read Many Lives, Many Masters, and she passed it down on to me. And ever since then, I've loved his work. He was a skeptic, by the way, of past lives. But through his hypnotherapy, hypnotizing his patients, he gained a better understanding about them and eventually became a believer. So he has a past life regression online that's really good. I've used it a couple of times. Michael Seeley is pretty good. I also was told Paul Miller, haven't checked it out yet, but I was told that there's an ad in the middle of it, so that's that. Okay. Focus, focus. Give me some clarifiers. Angel, spirit. Tell me about this person's past life. A baker, a cook, a chef. We have the 8 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Pentacles. And we have the 10 of Cups. So, in a past life, you may have... I'm getting a storyline of being obligated to be in a partnership, and it may have repeated in this lifetime. Check your South Node, check your North Node. They will give you a lot of clues. In a past life, you may have been obligated to be in a partnership based off of your family and how things were done. Some sort of arranged marriage situation. And it's manifested itself in this lifetime too, where it's just what you were expected to do. So you may be in a partnership right now where you feel obligated to be there, but you are not getting the emotional fulfillment that you need, the happily ever after that you need. You feel like you are working for nothing. And with this 5 of Pentacles right here, I'm not getting the traditional meaning. What I'm getting is someone who kind of, it's like this emotional manipulation. It's like, this may be specific to someone, but I'm using this as like a general example. But someone who kind of cries wolf, like, if you leave me, I'm going to commit suicide. So that puts you into a tough position because it's like you're not staying because you genuinely want to. You're staying because you're afraid of what this person might do without you. And that is no way to live, my friend. And just know that you have options. You have options. Not, like, don't even think about people as options, you know? Don't even think about, like, you have options to find a better soulmate. That's not what I'm even talking about here. You have options as far as what to get out of life, what to expect out of life for yourself, situations, jobs, just lifestyle, right? I feel like being with this person is limiting, and if you set foot on your own on this one-ring circus, on this journey by yourself, then and explore your other options, then you'll be aligned with the ideal things, like the ideal pairings for your life, right? Like the partnership you're in now, I feel like you may feel like it's like oil and water, and I feel like held back, right? I feel like you're held back, and that like you may have this sense of like wanderlust and like wanting to travel. I don't know why I'm getting traveling throughout this. Maybe it's like this is horizon, and I don't know. I'm just getting like you want to travel, you want to explore the world, but you feel like tethered to this situation. that you came into this life to break that paradigm, to break those obligations, to break those, like, having to stay in a situation. I just got the Empress reversed while shuffling. It flipped out. The Empress in this deck especially, I see as life, because we have this crest here. It always reminds me of how they did things in the olden days. If you watch Marie Antoinette, the Sofia Coppola Marie Antoinette version, it talks about the alliances that were made. And see, this is like breaking the paradigm. Okay, so Marie Antoinette, at least in Sofia Coppola's movie, it really drives home the fact that, because Marie Antoinette and Louis the 14th, or was it the 16th? I can't remember. But Louis, like, they didn't know each other, but the purpose of them marrying was to form alliances between Austria and France. So when I see this crest, this makes me think of, like, how marriage back in the day was to bring people together, right? And so it was like an act of diplomacy, right? So you may have had to marry someone who wasn't an energetic match, but it was an obligation to your country, an obligation to your family, right? The Scottish and the Irish and Welsh and, white people, they used to have clans, right? And so you couldn't marry anyone in your clan. You had to marry someone outside your clan. And this kept this left things open for trade. It left things open for goodwill amongst the different clans, and it prevented, like, incest and stuff like that. So there were reasons to do it back then, right? There were reasons for this Austrian girl to marry this French man that she had never met, that couldn't get it up for her. Sorry. But there were reasons, right? Because that's how you had to do things back in the day. And, like, even if your dad sold you off to someone, like, your purpose back in the day was to make a lot of babies so that the babies could take care of the farms, and so the farms could sustain everyone, right? But that's not the reality today, so you are changing the paradigm. So the paradigm you're changing today is to take a more independent lifestyle and explore your options, like backpack across the country and do things on, like, your terms, right? On no one else's terms. And if you're in a partnership that you love dearly, but you do feel that sense of obligation, then I'm not telling you to just, like, break up and abandon that partnership. What I am instructing you to do is to take a more independent approach and do things that you want to do that are exclusive of your partner, right? So you may be with your partner like 6 nights out of the week, but you take that 7th night to do something just for you, to go to that cooking class. Maybe it is cooking. That's a skill that you took from your last lifetime to this lifetime. Please let me know if you're a good cook. I love to hear, like, whenever I match up, whenever, like, my intuition is right. But if you are a good cook and you just have that natural ability, then maybe that's something that you can explore outside of your partner. But that's just one example. If you always wanted to go to New Zealand, but your partner is stingy and doesn't want to go, then you don't have to deal with your partner. Go by yourself, and then you'll come home. Yeah, like, you'll miss each other, so that's good for the partnership. You'll come home, you'll have more to talk about, so, like, it'll kind of add spice to your relationship because it's like a new experience, right? So, yeah, let me know if that was good advice. I love you very much. If you would like a personal reading, check the description box below, and like, share, comment, and subscribe. Happy Sunday. Hallelujah. I will see you next time. Bye.